At least it's letting you guys know that I'm on. The link, it's seriously a headache and a half. Let me try to record. Oh, no, stop. Pull it down. Okay, start recording. Well, at least it's letting you guys know that I'm on. Okay, that's random. So then I have to, this is my process. I have to, on a separate phone, record it, put it in another room, close the door, because it's going to catch sound and it's going to sound like there's an echo in the back. And because my phone won't let me screen record. And then I have to hope that I catch it in time for the hour, because if I don't catch it in time, Instagram doesn't give me the option to save this for 24 hours. I have to screen record while it's live, or else I can't read comments in real time, because Instagram will only let me put up my live now for 24 hours, but then it won't load comments. And then I have, it's seriously just, it's such a stupid process in order to get this all up. And then after that, I gotta hope that my screen recording saved to that phone. And I gotta hope that it saved it with volume, because 1 out of every 3 times it won't even save with volume. And then I have to now upload that to a YouTube channel that may or may not get completely wiped and deleted anyways. That's the process. Those are the lengths I go to try to save these lives. And it's so stupid, but it helps that every now and then I'll have somebody that'll come on who was recording like from the beginning, like what happened on Monday, and we'll be like, oh, here it is. I have it saved for you. But it's really stupid, isn't it? And it makes me want to like give up on all of it completely, but whatever. You know what? There have been some lives that I'm kind of glad weren't saved, because I lost it on some of them. Like I went off. I go off on a lot of these, which reminds me, I have to take my quick CBD here. I forgot to take it this morning, and I'm like, now I really am not going to have any excuse. I'll take this one. But yeah, okay. What I'm drinking lately on these lives is I'm having either my hemp coffee or I'm doing chai tea. Sometimes I'll throw a matcha green tea in there, but more often than not, it's not the case. So anyway, so Jed was on the live earlier. He might jump on later today so you guys can see the final of what he was working on. I really just, look at this. I have so much there's a lot of stuff I got to get done, but whatever. This is way more important. And who am I kidding? I'm going to like be looking up this stuff anyway as I go. Just, would you guys judge me? Who here has hired someone, not so much to clean their house, but have you ever hired anybody to like redo your closet, like fix everything, fold everything? Because that's like, for me, the worst chore ever. I'll wash dishes all day long. I'll wash dishes for 2 hours in the sink. I like it. Like, I know that I'll do that. But I hate laundry. I hate folding clothes. I hate organizing clothes. But I also hate staring at what I've let my closet get to. So I feel like I want to hire one of those organizers, but not the Marie organizer that comes in and makes you do all the work. I just want to pay somebody to just organize it for me, knowing that in another few months I might F it all up anyways, but just please help me out on this. If any of you have done that, do my dishes and I'll con Marie. See that? Okay, that could work. I'm like, what can I do? What can we trade? Because I want to, okay, really quick, because I don't want to give too much information on what's happening with, everyone already knows that there's going to be a demonstration. There's going to be a bit of a protest at the Capitol. What was that? At the Capitol at the end of the month. And if you've already paid your registration fee, if you have already gone online and got all that taken care of, if you're not on Facebook, you're not getting the details. Joshua is trying to email every single person, but just know that if you've paid and if you've put in like your t-shirt size and all that, they have that information, and it means you are a part of the group. And right now, you guys, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be like a big group. I'm so excited. But I also, I ended up, because I'm going to be going to document it, and I already paid for my flight. I had to book my hotel yesterday, which is actually not that close. So stupid. It was like the only one that I could get for a decent deal. And now I'm thinking I might have to either Uber all around town, because I'm going to come the day before. So if you're going to be in Sacramento the day before, I'm arriving like morning-ish, and then I have like that whole day prior. So I'm like, I don't know if you guys are going to be there. Maybe we should have like a meetup or something. But I have to get a car or just Uber everywhere. So this trip so far, this advocacy trip is rounding out to like $300-400. I mean, it's costing me my juicer. Don't tell my husband, because I was like, oh, I'm getting a good deal. But now I have to pay for all that side stuff. So anyway, and then I'm going to be leaving like that night. So if you're going to be there, I mean, let me know. I know there's a lot of people joining. If you're not getting the updates and the details, you could private message me, or you could private message Joshua on here. You guys know his just put in when you, or send him a screenshot of when you signed up. And just know that they have everybody's names. It's all there. But if you're not hearing anything, it's likely because you're not on Facebook. If you still need to get on Facebook, or if you're not on Facebook and you haven't, how am I saying this right now? I'm like losing it. If you haven't been accepted into the group, but you've already done the payment, please let me know and I will vouch for you. We just have to make sure you're a real person, because the permits have already been taken care of, like everything's handled, and it's going to be awesome. So I just made my Facebook yesterday. I'll look into it. Okay, so you have no updates. You DM'd. Okay, but I did message for you, and they have all of your information. Like they have your, that sounds scary. They have your info. You're on their roster. It literally, the only detail is the meeting time and spot, which we already know where the location is going to be, and you cannot miss this group of people. You're just not going to be able to miss it. I'm getting so excited thinking about it. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. So, all right, that's all I'm going to say for that, because I don't want to share too many other things on there. But you're on there. I saw your name. Okay. And I'm sorry, it's just this group, really, the people that orchestrate all this stuff, they're really more Facebook than they are Instagram. I'm just like trying to get everybody to just come over to Instagram already until Instagram knocks us all off, and then I'm going to be like, okay, whatever, what's the next best thing? Because there's a difference, right? Facebook friends, Instagram followers. I feel like people understand that there's a difference, because some of the... I was going to post this the other day, and then Jeff was like, no, don't post that. People might misinterpret it, because I want to be like, some people are reading this whole Facebook friends thing. Like, they're taking that way too serious for the way that I'm getting private messaged on here. Like, I am not your friend. Facebook. Right? I'm going, I know it says we're Facebook friends. But, anyway. All right, you guys, let's hop to it, because clearly the media has already forgot. They think we've forgotten about this Epstein thing. They think that we've all just been like, okay, yeah, that's so weird that the cameras malfunctioned and that we just have to buy what you're selling us. Like we just have to be okay with what you're selling us on the story, even though I guess at this point, my opinion doesn't matter. It never did matter, did it? Like, you guys don't care. Okay. So what's the big story today that everybody's pushing? Because I've seriously received this link like 80 times this morning. There was an Israeli flight attendant that reportedly went into a coma 10 days after contracting the measles on a flight. So let's talk about this story for just a bit. Clearly a distraction. Got a lot of thoughts. Let me just try to align everything for a second so I don't lose it. The convenience of it all. All right, I'm going to read to you what the Business Insider reported, because if it's on Business Insider, that means it's pretty much been copy-pasted on every other mainstream media, like MSM type. Your MSN, CNN, all of them pretty much reposting the exact same thing. So let's just read it once together. A flight attendant for the Israeli airline El Al has been in a coma for 10 days after contracting the measles, CNN reported. This article that I'm reading in particular was from April 17, 2019. She just recently passed away. So it was like 5 months in a hospital, she died. But when the article first came out, it looked like this. The woman, who is 43 years old, was reportedly healthy before catching the virus, but has now developed a brain inflammation known as encephalitis. According to the Mayo Clinic, encephalitis most often results in mild symptoms, if any, like fevers or headaches, but in rare cases can be fatal. Encephalitis is a side effect, a terrible side effect, that you can get if you get the measles. It also is a side effect listed on the measles vaccine insert, though. So it's a side effect of getting the measles vaccine too. I just needed to throw that in there really quick, okay? So is catching the measles from the live virus vaccine. And then they go on to say one or two in 1,000 children who contract measles will die from the virus, while 1 in 1,000 will develop encephalitis, according to the CDC. So she passed away because the next article that came in that you guys have been seeing, let's look at the one on people.com, okay? This one is flight attendant 43 who contracted the measles on flight, dies after battling disease for 5 months. Okay, so that was the headline. Just so you know what I'm looking at. So I'm not just like, this is on People. Okay? And this is terrible. It's clearly a tragedy. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is this young, beautiful woman is gone. And she was in the hospital for 5 months. And this is terrible for her family. It's absolutely terrible. Why every article is coming out talking about her death right now has to end in that they're pushing the vaccine. I think that that's pretty terrible too. I think that that's even worse. This is not water, by the way. This is vitamin C. My Sufficiency is my favorite one to take because, and I don't sell this, by the way, because of all shed timbers around the corner. So I'm taking this like at least once a day, this stuff. You can find it on Amazon. It's really good for you. Okay, so she passes away. This is saying she died on Tuesday, yesterday, after contracting the measles, end of March, falling into a deep coma. That's what the Washington Post reported. She was flying from New York, JFK International Airport, to Israel around the time she began to show symptoms of the virus. What else was going on around March with all of what I just mentioned in that last sentence? So she's Israeli. Okay. She was in New York. Measles. Jewish measles outbreak. March. Does that everybody else kind of remember when all of that was coming out? They were going after all those Jewish communities, and they now have lost their religious exemption. Okay, that was happening too. So very interesting that this went on. It says she was later hospitalized after developing encephalitis, an inflammation of the brain caused by the disease, according to the outlet. Days after landing in Israel, the Israeli Ministry of Health released an alert about measles patient on board an El Al flight from JFK and to Israel on March 26 to 27, but did not mention specifically whether Amitai was exposed to the illness while on the craft. That part's important, okay? Because we don't know, they have never confirmed that it was an exposure that she got while on the actual craft. So you're reading this going, great, got it. So it's kind of hearsay. We're all just assuming right now that she contracted the measles at JFK before a flight to Israel And that's likely how she got the measles. That's what we are assuming right now. Somebody on that plane had the measles and gave it to her. But we can't confirm this. At the time, officials also could not confirm where or when she may have contracted the virus, but noted that Amitai did not appear to spread measles to anyone else on the flight. So measles is contagious. We know it's contagious. They keep telling us it's highly contagious. But they noted that she did not appear to have spread it to anyone else on the flight. She was out of luck. She was in New York at the time. There was a measles outbreak. Crazy that she got it while on the plane, but nobody else did. So there's that. Still, the vaccine from her childhood may not have been strong enough to prevent Amitai from contracting the virus, as patients were given a single dose of the vaccine in the 1970s, according to the Washington Post. Wow, well, how convenient that is too, because you guys had a bunch of articles coming out around March and April talking about how if you haven't been vaccinated against the measles past the 1970, you should probably go and get your second dose. Coincidentally, also around the same time in March, because March 31st is when the measles vaccine, the MMR, sorry, there is no measles vaccine, it's the measles, mumps, rubella. That's when it was approaching its expiration date, March of 2019. It was all going to expire, right? So like there was this big push, and we already discussed all of this. These days, Israeli medical officials recommend giving children one dose when they're 12 months old and another when they're in first grade. Why those last two paragraphs had to even be a part of this article, this poor woman has passed away, I don't know. You tell me. Like, oh, and by the way, though, these are the moments where you have to get these shots, and this is what we recommend for the shot. But yet, you've already admitted to us we have no confirmation that she has spread it to anybody else. We have no confirmation that she actually even got it from that flight. Okay. So this is now what the public wants to discuss on a Wednesday, August 14, 2019. This is the biggest news now. This is bigger news right now, they're hoping, than what just happened over the weekend. That we've been lied to by our news. Because the story is no longer Epstein's death. It's that we got lied to and played big time, because we even saw how they backpedaled all of their news stories. Oh, wait, we're sensing that you guys don't believe us, so we just need to let you know that apparently the cameras malfunctioned in there. Oh, well, now we don't believe you even more. Well, really, you don't believe us even more? Well, that sucks that you don't believe us even more, because we got other news on this too. And the other news is that he wasn't really on Suicide Watch. He was on like a 24-hour break from Suicide Watch on a Saturday. Oh, wait, so in other news, they don't believe our news anymore. This is Twilight Zone right now, okay? Now the country's in panic, because this is all, I'm telling you guys, this is all they needed was a measles death, because they only have about 3 recorded deaths in America via the measles in the past 2 decades. And even those deaths, they can't tell us if those people were up to date on their shots or if they were recently vaccinated. You guys are thinking, wait a minute, but I was told that thousands of people die every year. Yes, those are global numbers, not numbers in countries that have running water, okay, and proper sewage and sanitation. Why do you think countries like Haiti are called holes? Because their main water source is the water that they're using to cook with, to clean with, to bathe in. Naturally, you're going to bring back medieval diseases like cholera and typhus, hence why you're seeing typhus in tent city places like LA, because there's 2 bathrooms for 12,000 homeless people to use. It's proper sewage and sanitation. That's the only thing, because anyway, I have a U.S. vaccine history highlight. Please take the time to watch that. Let's break this down a little bit more, okay? First of all, she was already vaccinated against the measles. The mother already came out to the news saying when she was a child, she was already vaccinated against the measles. To be an airline attendant, you have to go and get your immunizations done as well. So she had the vaccine, okay? What does that tell you, number one, about the vaccine? That she was already vaccinated and she caught the measles. What does that tell you? Oh, wait. Because that would be your first reason not to vaccinate. Second, she died from encephalitis that was caused by the disease. But it's unfortunately also an adverse side effect from the vaccine, which is another reason not to vaccinate. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know about this news, media. The officials can't even confirm where or when she might have contracted the virus. And then they noted that she did not appear to spread measles to anyone else on the flight, according to all of their reports. So, okay, so is it contagious or is it not? Because how did that happen? I feel like I'm confused in the way that I'm confused about the Epstein camera malfunction. Reports stating that, first of all, you're in a hospital for 5 months. What? You're in like one of the dirtiest, germiest places out there besides an airplane. So an airplane is disgusting to be on an airplane, right? It's like you're filthy. Why they call it airborne for a reason? You're packed in a metal object that's going to be in the sky where like the air is just circulating throughout this tiny thing, and it's a lot of people breathing in and out. It's a dirty place. Same with hospitals. You know, the third leading cause of death in this country is medical malpractice, medical error. This girl was in a hospital for 5 months. I'm surprised she lasted 5 months in that place and didn't die. I'm surprised she only died now. So you have reports coming in saying that she contracted a bacterial infection while in the hospital. You guys know that they're also pumping you up when you're in the hospital, right? You have to say no to biogenics. I have a biogenics highlight too that I think Instagram still saved, because actually when I'm scrolling, I haven't seen that one recently. Hopefully it's still there. You have to state on that clipboard when you're coming in, they don't call it vaccines. They call it biogenics. So you have to memo in on the notes in the bottom before you sign your life away, because you could die in a hospital and you can't sue a hospital, right? This is the place people think that they're safe, by the way. You have to put in there bold and in caps, no biogenics to be given. I had a client last year, I shared on here, where he was in a coma and they gave him the flu vaccine while he was in a coma. They're giving people vaccines that come with a side effect of encephalitis while they're in comas, in hospitals. I'm just saying, like, that's a good idea. There had to have been this is my speculation here too, but a lot of people are feeling the same way. That doesn't make it right. This is now opinion time, okay? There had to have been something wrong with her prior if she had to fight off the measles for 5 months in a hospital, because a 5-year-old kid can fight off the measles in less than a week with the rash and everything, you know? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. It's usually 2, maybe 3 week max, and then that illness is completely done. What kind of measles condition takes 5 months? I'm calling BS on this one, big time. I'm like, 5 months with the measles? No. Where and when and how? No. She'd be the first, but I'd still want to see all of the, science behind that, like when they autopsy and everything. Especially if they're going to push this on us. If you're going to push this and force it on us, you need to prove that somebody can have this for 5 months in a hospital. In a hospital already. So you're kind of like, dude, everything in this, just a million questions right now. She wasn't even safe in what society wants you to think is the safest place to be if you're going through an illness. Hold on. So she went into a coma and got encephalitis, which is a complication of the measles. From articles that I'm seeing here too, she didn't receive the second vaccination. That's what they want us to think. Then they're also speculating this has to do with the Orthodox religious affiliation that is her Jewish beliefs. Case in point, why they want to justify going after the religious exempts in New York and going after an entire Jewish population. Okay? The airlines she worked at have not been requiring strict vaccinations. I mean, they shouldn't, I guess. Are these airline attendants, first of all, are they getting live virus vaccines and then going onto flights directly after? Because live virus vaccines shed and spread. So I want to see that. If anybody is a flight attendant on here or knows of one, can you find out for me if they get up to date on their vaccines and if any of the live virus ones like the varicella, the MMR, if they are having to stay home for 3 to 4 weeks after being vaccinated, or if they're put on like the next flight, because that's kind of a big deal, especially when these things are shedding, that they're going to now get into this tiny container in the sky and they're shedding. So anyways, it's just been really interesting reading some of these comments on here too. Like, I don't know what she was battling, you guys, but it was not the measles that she was battling. She could have been battling some side effects from the MMR, some side effects. Maybe she got more than the MMR. Maybe she went and got boosted up completely to be a flight attendant. Because they're trying to get the public to buy into just everything these days. Like, if it were the measles, then what they're saying is that it was the genetically modified vaccine strain, right? Not the wild measles of our day. Maybe this is just more proof that we need actually on this side of the argument, why the vaccine is terrible and why we shouldn't get it. What Planet Patterson's, no, not required on AK Air, no requirement to stay out of work if getting them. Okay. I don't mean to throw a wrench in all of this, but they're not only going to use this to push the vaccine, they're going to use this to go after yet another job that's going to require that you get all this stuff done. Are we going to have flight attendants now in the future wearing the masks because they didn't want to get the flu shot? Like how we have nurses that do that? It's never been about the kids. They're going after adults too. This is about you being obedient and just if they push out a new vaccine, they put it on the schedule, adults need to get all of this stuff done too. Because now the general populace that's going to read these articles is going to freak out because it was a stewardess on board. The population of zombies is going to now demand and be like, well, yeah, all of these flight attendants better be up to date on their vaccines. If they're not up to date on their vaccines, then you don't get to keep your job. Screw you. It doesn't matter. Who cares? But that's how the mind works. That's how they start to think with this kind of stuff. So she was vaccinated already. Clearly the vaccine didn't work. Like, is anybody apologizing? Is anybody going to apologize to these people from the 1970s that they went and got all of this stuff and it didn't work? It didn't give them the immunity that it promised to give them. Like, no apology. Just, hey guys, by the way, that didn't work. It didn't work. Sorry that you had to take your kids in. That's just, not sorry to you. You're probably dead. You're probably already dead because nobody in the society nowadays really makes it past the age of 60, 70. Like, that's already considered old age nowadays. It's like you're considered lucky to make it to 70 and still have your memory. That's the new normal, by the way. New normal. It's like seeing a unicorn when you meet somebody that's 100 or in their 90s and they're still like okay up here. It's like seeing a unicorn. And if you have one of those in your family, congratulations. Please take a video camera, record them, and start asking them these few questions just for me, because I feel like we need to preserve their stories because their stories are being erased. I need you to ask them what kind of allergies were around when they were kids, because the answer is going to be like this. Or they might say, hay fever. I need you to ask them how many children they knew that had chronic illness, because it's 54% right now in America. I want you to ask them how many kids they knew needed all the extra special attention. Like, how many special needs kids did they know? Also ask them how many women they knew that couldn't bear children, that had problems with infertility. Because right now in America, it's 1 in 8. And my parents, they only knew like 2. And they knew the same 2 because it was just known throughout the entire damn country that those were the 2 women that couldn't produce, that couldn't have babies. And everybody felt terrible for them, and it was shitty. But I know 2 people on my block. Okay? I'm just saying. So you need to ask them these questions. You need to start asking them these questions just so that we can now side by side things, because everything society is labeling normal right now, normal is only relative. Normal is relative to the past 20 years. We've discussed this in the past, right? We've already discussed this a couple weeks ago. It's normal now because of the vaccine schedule for us to have things like SIDS. SIDS was not normal past 3 decades ago. It was really not normal for a baby to just die around the 2-month, 4-month, 6-month mark. Look up your history books. Look up any of them. Why did Shakespeare never write about SIDS? Did Shakespeare have like any of your favorite authors from the past? They didn't write about these conditions and things that are going on now. They didn't experience this stuff because that would have been not normal back then. We've normalized it. So when somebody tells you, oh, that's not normal, just know that normal is relative. Because autism for sure was not normal. But it's so normal now. And don't talk about it because you're shaming people. That's their other way to get you. First of all, they'll tell you, not so much like, oh, you're wrong. If you're questioning their narrative, when they don't know how to fight your facts that you're throwing down, they will start telling you, they'll start insulting you. They'll name call, they'll attack your character that has nothing to do with the point that you're making, and they will now shame you. They'll tell you that you're shaming other people when you're just like, I was just bringing up a statistic, actually. That's how things work nowadays, if you haven't noticed. The vaccine already listed the measles condition as a side effect. Many of these zombies don't realize that they're watching this news bit right now going like this. Like, oh my God, somebody died of the measles. Oh my gosh, you see this? There's these outbreaks going on. Somebody died of the measles. This woman, she was 43 years old. She died. They are now on the phone making an appointment to go see their doctor, to go take their kids in, to make sure that they get the measles vaccine. And on the flipping insert is a side effect of the measles. This is the idiocy. And if you're the parent that actually takes the time, you're taking the time to do your research, to make an informed decision, your kids get to trot around measles free, you get the blame. They have the nerve to point their finger at you, which is why these same zombies, when we do these demonstrations, will literally see signs with just a fact on it, a fact that says, like, vaccine manufacturers are not liable. That's a fact. If you're on pro-vax side of the argument or anti-vax side of the argument, it is a fact that you can't deny. Vaccine manufacturers are not liable. These same people will read that sign and yell out things like, vaccines don't cause autism, Yeah. Cognitive dissonance, idiocy, fluoride, so many reasons. And those same people are going to blame your kids. Or they have sometimes people ask me things on here, like in my DMs. So then what are you going to do if your kid gets the measles? Like, first of all, don't tempt me with a good time. I'm just kidding. First of all, I'm going to use the number one most effective way so that they don't spread the measles to other people, and it's called quarantine. And people have been using quarantine for like centuries and centuries. It works. Here's the thing. When you get sick, forget the measles. If I'm not feeling good, like I'm feeling like itchy throat, whether it might not even be a disease. It could just be from like what they're spraying above, right? And I'm just feeling like an itch. I'm probably not going to, I'm not going to share my drink with people. I'm not going to like taste test the soup with the same spoon. I'm not going to double dip into stuff. I'm going to be like, I don't want others to go through this itchy, what I'm experiencing right now. And I won't like go outside. And also like, we will quarantine ourselves. We'll quarantine ourselves. We're not shooting up our kids, sending them off into the jungle to shed and spread to everyone else. So you're welcome. I think what you're trying to say, I think you're trying to say thank you. It sounded like you were insulting me though, and insulting my children, calling them crotch goblins and all that, but I could have sworn I sensed a thank you in there. I might be wrong though, because your tone is like, but I'm pretty sure you're trying to thank me. And this is how you know that this is all propaganda bullshit that's happening. Look at what all the politicians are posting up. Look at these. Senator Pan, he's jumped on this. He's not even, condolences, this sucks, like this poor woman, condolences to her family, but nope. He's reposting these articles. Go get your measles vaccine. Look at all of them. Look at all of them. I mean, if you are not on Twitter, I hate Twitter too, you guys, but I recently liked Twitter because that's where all of them hang out. So you get to retweet their stuff. Like that doctor yesterday, that doctor that posted up that essential oils and all of the supplements, he's like, any of that's bad for you. That stuff is so bad. That's not going to boost your immune system. He was like making fun of pretty much all of our protocols, which pretty much work, right? Like, fine, maybe they don't work, but I can tell you my kids only get sick like 2 days out of the year. That's weird. Maybe it's just coincidence that my kids are only sick like 2 days out of the year, that they've never had an allergy, they've never had an ear infection, never had to deal with any of this stuff. Like, everybody thinks that my kids are geniuses, and my kids like love hearing that in public, and then I get to be that person in their life that's like deflates that, look, fine, you're smart, but you're not that smart. I don't want to be that person, Oh my God, they're so advanced. Not really. They're advanced for nowadays. They're advanced for 2019. What children are, they're advanced because, have you seen the curriculum, the Common Core stuff? Fine, they're advanced. But my kid's up against a kid in like the early 1900s, not advanced at all. Because those kids were learning Latin, reading and writing in Latin by the age of 12, okay? Those kids knew how to play at least 5 instruments, like every person. Nowadays, people are like, oh my gosh, your kid's taking like a music class? That's so crazy. Oh, they're so smart. And you're going, that shit was like, George Washington had to know how to freaking ballroom dance at 11, okay? I'm just saying. Our kids are smart, you guys. I'm not like downplaying our kids. But they're not that smart. They're just not being poisoned. And I don't know how some of you guys are going to take that. I guess it doesn't matter. I don't want to dwell too much on how you guys are going to take that, or else I'd never be able to get on with my life. But so we have articles like this, and it's just sad. It's just, I'm like, people think I'm doing some crazy stuff here with my kids. Now I gotta post up something else, which actually I don't know if I can even share it on here. There was a mom who has like a bunch of followers. She's got a very public profile. So she shared a story recently. A lot of you guys sent that to me. She had the twins. So she has these twins that got the measles. She posts their pictures, but then she also, on the pictures where the kids look miserable, she posts up on it like, you can't use this picture, even though her profile's public and she has 23,000 followers. It's like, okay, way to go with your warning. But I saved her story because it was a public story, and I knew that it would be something that she'd likely not want to remember. But in her story, she admits that, because she also has a 6-month-old at home. So she admits in this that, and many of you, if you know who this woman is, I mean, I guess you could put her name on here so people can see, because her profile's public. So I'm not like infringing on, just so you know. Her twins get the measles. She admits in her story that her older twins, did have the MMR vaccine already. So she admits that they were vaccinated. And recently, because they're kind of young. So they went through the measles and it looked terrible. But it was vaccine strain measles. It wasn't the wild measles virus. Well, guess what happened? She has a 6-month-old at home who is too young to get the measles vaccine. That is the pro-vax argument. We have to all be vaccinated because these babies can't get it until they're 1, because magically on their first birthday, they can suddenly handle measles, mumps, and rubella live virus vaccines, along with another booster of maybe Hep B. Throw in a DTaP in there, flu shot. We're going to tell you it's like 3 shots, but we pump them up with 8. We don't know though. But and also if they turn blue and they start seizing later on, that's normal. That's normal. So she admits then that her 6-month-old caught the measles. And I know, all of us sitting back looking at this, I was watching the story and I was going, oh my gosh, what the hell? How did you deal with that? How did you deal with your 6-month-old who had the measles? That sucks. I'm trying to think about that. I'm like, oh, teething is bad enough when your baby's 6 months. Well, she admits on her story that her 6-month-old was able to pass the measles through its system. It like lasted a week. They got rashes and they healed and recovered better than the older twins that were trying to recover from the measles that had been vaccinated. So you're looking at this story of this woman and you're going, wow, so what did we learn here? And I'm waiting because I'm going, she's pro-vax, she's a pro-vaxxer, waiting for her ending. Where's the cliff? I'm hanging on. Give me the moral of the story. Let's all come together. What's the moral of this story? You guys, she's still pro-vaccine. She still wants to talk about the measles. She knows nothing about the measles, obviously knows nothing about the measles vaccine. You should have seen the comments on the page. It was like 300 comments deep. People were literally sending her the exact links, government sites, studies that proved this stuff is shedding, doesn't work, and you just gave your babies the measles. That's why they had the measles. And that's great that your 6-month-old that never had the measles vaccine got the measles out of their system and recovered better and did better than your older kids. What does that tell you? Sometimes with these moms and these pro-vaxxers, I'm like, are you even reading what you're typing? Are you even looking back at your videos and listening to what you're saying? And I'm not going to tell you guys to go on there and call her out. That's not what this is about, because she screenshot somebody who called her out, okay, put it in her stories. And this person who literally wasn't calling her out, they were more saying like, hey, this sucks that happened to you, but here's why. And this person's text, I'm going to share this text in a bit. I don't think I can share it here. It's not saved on this thing. Okay, but her message that the other person sent to her said, I wish my kid could get the measles naturally so that they can go through it naturally. And that's how many of us feel on here, right? Saying that, it's dangerous for me to even publicly state that I would rather my kid get the wild virus naturally, because then I don't have to go through the BS of the fact that it didn't work 40 years later being on an airplane. So this mom literally just says, I wish my kid could just get the measles naturally and go through it naturally. This mother with her 23,000 followers and with her still being a pro-vaxxer screenshots that, and her comment on there is like, Child Protection Services, where are you at? Like, somebody better, I hope that CPS investigates this mom. Like, this is why it is dangerous nowadays. This is why I'm telling you guys, like, what I do here. I appreciate the prayers. I appreciate all that, the protection for the family. But I couldn't believe it when I saw that. First of all, I went through all the emotions looking at her post because I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling bad for your kids. And I still feel bad for your kids because you're going to continue to vaccinate. I wonder if this mother too, like, I'm following now, hoping, I don't want her to block me, but I'm following along now to just see what she's going to do, because if her 6-month-old turns 1 and is now offered the MMR, is she going to give them the MMR? Because she's so pro-vax. Why would you give your baby who just already beat the measles vaccine? Probably because you're pro-vax shilling. Probably because you're, the way that you think is going to be easily convinced and easily brainwashed into being afraid of rubella and being afraid of the mumps. Is probably what's going to happen. I know there's a bunch of you on here that know who this woman is because you were the reason that I even found out about this woman. I was not following her until I was sent her story by like 10 people. Okay? And look up her last picture. You know what I'll do here? After this live, I'm just going to share her profile because it is public. You don't have to comment if you don't want to, but I need you guys to see the comments. I need you guys to see the idiocy. And I need you to know that she admitted that her babies had the vaccine, still got the measles anyway. And that her 6-month-old never had the vaccine, got the measles, and handled it better than the ones that were vaccinated. I need you to see it. I need you to see it with these. The things that they tell you are lying to you. These. Use them while you still can, because we're coming into a funky point right now in our society and culture where what you're seeing with your own damn eyes, they're telling you is wrong. Wait a minute. You got Epstein on a gurney. The media never puts pictures of dead people on gurneys out for everyone to see. Like, they knew there were cameras all over that prison waiting because you guys just announced that he died. So I'm sure that place was flooded. So you guys conveniently forgot to put the bag over his face. And now you're telling me are not valid. Like, don't matter because that's not the same person. Oh, hey, Jed. Were you listening in? I'm letting you jump on the live.
Yeah.
Never in jail. I know Matthew Tax is on here. He was never in jail. Oh, nice. I like your side-by-side. What's it say on his head? Case closed. Case closed. And was that, you know what? You know who he looked like in that side-by-side profile? He looked like Anthony Bourdain. I'm like, is this the same body that they used for Anthony Bourdain when they had him up on that gurney?
Yeah, really.
It looks good. Nice. Got all the shadows on there and everything. Well, pedophile. That's the thing too. They knew people wouldn't feel bad that he was dead. They'd be shocked because how do you die on suicide watch? So this government that wants to take all of our firearms because they want to be the ones to protect us, want to tell us that they can't even watch somebody and protect somebody from killing themselves. This is crazy. Crazy. Good job, Jed. So Jed does that. I don't know if you guys are following Anime Jed. Some of our favorite pictures here. Like, he'll take a picture of your family. And Jed, are you still doing that $100 off thing? Is it still on your website?
Yeah, it's still there.
Are you going to keep it up for a little bit? Because I don't want to tell people that it's on there and then you take it down.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it up for a little bit.
Okay. So, like, Jed will do stuff like this. Like, we gave Jed a picture of our family when we were out at the desert, and he made us. Well, this is before we had Enzo, and he makes you like the animated version of yourself. So we use this for our Christmas card, but he just did such a good job. And then the following year, he made one where the bird was in it with Frankie. So it's really, honestly, for me, it's like one of the best gifts. If you're like, what do I gift to somebody, or like thinking about a wedding present, or it's so unique. It's so unique to see yourself animated like that, all Disney style. But I hope you can share more on Instagram, Jed. Yeah, I'll tag him after this. And he said he's still doing the 100 off. So it's pretty cool. You had a few where like some military guys sent some stuff in and wanted commissions like that done, right?
Yes, yeah, I have a few of those. I still need to update the site. I'm like you said earlier, I don't do a lot of social media, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna save this picture. I'm gonna save the other ones. I'm gonna do the anime Jed tag on it and try to figure out how to put it on Instagram.
Okay.
Through the internet.
You also it takes you like a few weeks with the commissions, right? It's like not.
Depending on the queue, yeah, at any given time, it's about a week to 2 weeks completion time, and that's just because there might be people ahead.
They're great. I want to see Enzo animated this year. We'll probably do that again for like our holiday cards. But yeah, well, Jed just jumped on towards the end of this live because I wanted you guys to see the final, image. And I'm going to be jumping off here soon now because I got to kind of get on with my day. But thanks, Jed, for joining earlier.
Yeah, no problem. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see more of you on Instagram, or at least more of what you're drawing.
Yes, for sure.
I understand nowadays with the story I just shared, these parents, right? I'm telling you, these people are going to be the first to like report you. It's just sick where it's getting to nowadays. If you heard that last story.
Well, whatever makes the job of the tyrants easier. So neighbors reporting on neighbors, that's pretty much the first sign of the fall of civilization. Well, not the first sign, but it's one of those checklist deals.
It's crazy. It's just, it's so sick. And you have these people, and then there's us on this other end. So many of us are like trying to warn our friends and family, and even the ones that are pro-vaxxers. We're spending so much energy and time right now trying to convince people about this stuff, and many of the people we're trying to convince honestly don't even give a shit. And then worse than that, they will be the first to report you because they don't like what you're doing with your family and your kids, and they would rather place the finger of blame on you than on themselves, because it's literally like putting a mirror in front of their face. You're presenting a person with facts, and it's like you might as well be putting a mirror in front of their face, and all they're seeing and hearing from you is you telling them that they didn't do research, they didn't look into this enough, that they poisoned their kids, and they just can't get past that. They can't forgive themselves for not knowing any better. They can't, because you guys, that you have to get past that guilt in order to grow and move forward in this. We were all lied to. When I talk about sheep and the zombies and the mombies, I was in that. I wasn't just like, I didn't just notice that and was like, oh, I don't want to be a part of that. I'm like, I've got all of this great sense about me. I was in that. And it's crazy when you're in that you don't realize any of this stuff. You don't see it. But when somebody shows it to you, if your first reaction is to get mad at that person, and then like get just pissed off at yourself, you're never going to grow. You're never going to be able to see things for what they really are. I haven't even gotten to talks where I want to get into what this is really about, like the deep underlying issue of all of this stuff, because I know it's going to turn a lot of people off because it's scary. It's like traumatizing to think about it. But meanwhile, we get to just sit here and argue about vaccines all day long. And is this poison or is it not poison? Please, if you're in that boat and you haven't done the research yet because you just don't want to own up to the guilt, know that it wasn't your fault. Know that you were lied to. We were all lied to. And once you know better, then you do better. I just go there, girl. We want to hear it. Yeah, I'm going to go there soon here because it's okay. It's good every now and then to clear out my DMs, to clear out some of those requests, But yeah, So I know I'm on the verge. I'm right there ready to say it, but I got to clean out some more people. And then we can really just, because once you know and see the bigger picture, why they're doing all of it, has nothing to do with the fact that these diseases are scary. It's literally about mixing up and keeping your blood dirty. Why do you think that the universal blood is, I said I wasn't even going to go there, but just look at it, okay? The people back that we used to have a lot more people that had that universal blood that you could donate, you could, now that number has really trickled down. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? That so many more of us, that's only 15% of the entire population on the planet have the universal blood. Everyone else is dirtied up. Everyone else is dirtied up. Okay? Yeah, you got that O-neg, and they're going to try to sell you on the ROGAM. They're going to try to sell you. Of course, they don't want any of it. They're keeping us apart. It's deeper. It's deeper. I hope this is not your first live. If you're joining in now, please jump off. Anyway, you got that universal blood. Maybe keep it that way. Maybe keep it that way. Maybe don't consider letting people know, too, that you have it. It's just, I'm telling you, especially right now, they're monitoring everything. All right, I know that what a way to leave this live, but I'm gonna go because I'm hearing a funky echo, and now I'm getting nervous. But this is deep. All right, we'll chat soon. Bye, Jed. Thanks for being on.
Bye, Thomas. Have a good day.
Take care.